What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to a brand new video on the channel, and welcome to another video of my little mini series that I have going on the channel right now, trying to find the best car in Forza Horizon 5. Now, what would qualify a car as the best car in this game? Well, what I want, I mean, you can kind of say this with different classes and stuff like that, but I feel like the best car needs to be the fastest and the best handling in any category that you set it up for, depending on how you tune it, obviously, but whatever category you want. I want a car to be able to be good at drifting, and the same car, if I tune it differently, to be able to go on a track and set down really good times, almost record, if not record runs. Same with driving off-road, and same with jumps and stuff like that. So that's what I think the best car, or what would qualify as the best car in Forza Horizon 5. Now, I've already made one video before, and a lot of people actually ended up replying to that, giving me suggestions on future videos that I'll end up doing on, you know, trying to find the best car in this game. And this was one of the cars that people have suggested, and this is the car that I had in mind from the last time to try out basically and see if this could be the best car in the game. So this, for anybody that doesn't know, is the Mercedes AMG CLK GTR. This is actually a world record car in this game. Now, this car itself, as well, with this tune that's on it now, as you can see, it has the off-road tires. This, like I said, is a world record car. What I mean by that is that this tune and this car itself has been used many times for any off-road speed zones. If I go and I check the tops of leaderboards, these guys up here using this car constantly. Even I did at some point as well, and even on the rally expansion I ended up using this car quite a bit. And again, like I said, for off-road speed zones, I don't think there are any better cars than that. Now, as you can see, some of them are on this leaderboard, something like Koenigsegg, Jesko, whatever, but this is literally a straight line. But anything that involves sort of like cornering and stuff like that, you'll see the Mercedes CLK GTR at the tops of leaderboards. Now, a lot of the ones on this map, especially on the main map, are very much cheated. But yeah, like I said, if you're doing them legitimately, then this would be the best car to use. The Hoonigan RS is also another car that I really have in mind to maybe give a shot and try for different things. But yeah, we'll probably use that in a different video. However, this car, like I said, seems like it has the recipe to be the best car for everything. In today's video, I'm going to be building this thing for two different things. I'm going to be building it for on-road racing, and I'm also going to be building it for drifting. I also want to try and see what the top speed of this thing is. So I think what we need to do now is head over into the festival and build it for those three different things and try it out. Like I said, the tune that's on it now, the off-road tune, If you want to go and watch all of those, you can, especially the ones on the rally expansion when I tried to do top 1000. You'll see how insanely good this car is for that. So for off-road races, dirt races as well, I've used this car for dirt races, super good for that. Even cross-country races, this thing is very good. It's not as good, I guess, as some of the big boy cars. There are other cars in this game for off-road, or sorry, for cross-country races. Maybe that absorb bumps a little better, whatever, but this is still up there as being one. I'll count this as one of like the top 5 best cars for like cross-country events. It's very good. So for off-roading, I'm not even going to touch this. We already know that it's literally the best in the game. I'm going to try it for some other things. So like I said, the tune that's on it now is not mine. So let's try and build this thing now for a bit of top speed action. So I think engine swap is obviously the way to go here. I don't think there's anything else that I can even say about that. Like, it has to be. It is mid-engine rear-wheel drive, so I don't know what it's going to be like for drifting. Usually mid-engine rear-wheel drive cars aren't great. As you can see, the front to rear you know, weight distribution, there's a lot of weight that goes over the rear end. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to make this thing all-wheel drive. And even if I make it all-wheel drive and send all the power going to the rear, but at least making it all-wheel drive would change the balance of the car a little bit more, and it'll make it handle a little bit differently. So like I said, right now I also want to try it for just top speed run. I just want to see what the top speed of this car actually is, if it can be used for any sort of speed trap events, if that makes sense. On-road or off-road, it doesn't really make too much of a difference, but I just want to try it out and see what it's like. Race transmission, I think I could have just left standard because it already has a race transmission. Once you drivetrain swap, it already gives you a race transmission, so it doesn't really matter. Diff, it doesn't matter again. Yeah, now I want to go ahead and change that. Same with the suspension. I'm going to put drift suspension on it already because I need to buy it regardless if I buy it now or later. Doesn't make too much of a difference. And this is also, as you can see, the non-Forza Edition version. There is another car that's the Forza Edition version. I think this one... I think there is a difference between this one and the Forza Edition version in terms of handling and stuff like that. That's why everybody uses this one and not the other one. So there you go. 1,191 horsepower, 919 kilos. Like, I mean, the power to weight ratio is absolutely insane on this thing. I didn't adjust any of the air on it at all. Well, I didn't add any air on it, so I don't think you can even adjust much of the air on it. But we'll have a quick look as well, if we can. Okay, we can adjust the rear aero, so we can do that. This again, it's on the off-road diff, so it doesn't really matter too much. I'll just do something like this. Make it so it has more power going to the rear. I will end up having to change these tires as well if I'm going to take this thing out drifting, so I'll end up doing that. Top speed run, like I said, so I'm not going to be adjusting too much here. I'll get rid of some camber so it doesn't like just dart into a random direction. So let's see. Top speed, 267. 267 is, by the looks of things, maybe peak for this car. 268 we have there. So on the little graph itself, let's do this as well because this will help. 268.1. I think stiff front end and lifted front end is probably the best way to go. Actually, lifted everywhere. There you go, 268.9. If I lower this, it'll drop my speed. If I raise this, I think it'll also drop my speed. So 269.5 is what we're looking at here. 269.6. I think more rear bias will also increase top speed. Yeah, 269.7. So about 270 miles an hour, maybe going like downhill or something like that. Maybe. Maybe. 269.8. Yeah, let's give it a shot and see what the top speed of this thing is. Again, I'll use the whole length of the airstrip itself. I'd also want to hit a jump with it, and I want to see what the jump is like with this car. Here as well. Actually, we could probably just do it there, right? Because this thing is long enough that I can actually probably test out its top speed. And it's perfectly level as well, so we'll see. Because I feel like acceleration-wise, it should be fine. Yeah, acceleration is decent. I don't know if it's going to be any good for drag racing, though. I could probably have to try and build it for that as well. I want to try and do a run at this thing like that. So for jumps, 250 odd miles an hour. Back end still going down. Not really the best of jumps. So it's not that great for jumping. Yeah, like I said, maybe tuning this thing differently would be better. So let's just have a look at its top speed. I trust the little graph thing though on this car. I think the graph on this car should be fine. Now there are cars in this game that can do up to 300 miles an hour. I think now it's like peaked or it's capped at 300 miles an hour, so I can't really... If this thing does what it says, if it does 270 miles an hour, I'll immediately leave. It gets there fairly quickly though, if you think about it. It's like already at 260. It only needs like an extra 10 miles an hour to go. And look, it's still climbing quickly. So I think this thing is capped due to its aero. So basically a lot of cars in this game will say that they have like a really high top speed, and then aero will just ruin it. It just has too much downforce. There's 269. I think once I go to the right, like once I take this corner to the right, it will start going downhill slightly, so I think it'll hit the 270 mark. Let's say what, 272? I think 272 is what my guess is going to be. $71, 272, and then I have to turn again. So 272 is what I see. Okay, interesting. Interesting. Alright, let's try drag racing. Again, I'm going to do this in a straight line. I'm going to get a tune real quick for this thing, and I'll be right back. It's slow. It is very slow. Yeah, acceleration is very, very slow. It's not quick at all. So, I built this thing for S2 drag racing. And that was slow. So I was like, you know what, let's detune it. Let's bring it down into S1. But you can see now the difference between my 959 and this thing. This is just a really slow car at this point. So in S1 it was doing like 13.6 seconds or something like that. Maybe you could get it to be slightly faster, but it's nowhere near fast. Yeah, okay, so for drag racing it's just a no-go. For drag racing this thing just doesn't like to accelerate quickly. Try manual clutch as well actually, maybe that'll get it to be a tiny bit quicker. But I mean, apart from that, it just doesn't seem great. It's just not fast at accelerate. Like it just doesn't accelerate quickly. That's literally it. Yeah. I did actually end up hitting a limiter there. I changed my gear ratios quite a bit as well, so just to try to find a good, I guess, balance between acceleration and like top speed. And these are fine. It doesn't struggle with grip from the start at all, not even in S2 or anything. It's like S2 950 something as well, so it's not like it's like really high in S2. 15.4, yeah, that's just slow. That is just a slow car. Weird. I definitely expected this to be a little bit quicker, but it just isn't. Okay. So it's bad for drag racing. So we can kind of count this out from being one of the best guys in this game, if it can't even drive well in a straight line. I think next up I'm going to try to do like just a regular race with it. So I'm going to put like the race suspension and race tires and all that stuff on it, and then I'll build it to the top of S2, and then I'll try to see what sort of lap times it can get in S2 as well. Also, just before we get to that bit, I know I just realized that you can just take the rear wing completely off and it looks like this. This is the new top speed of this guy. It still hasn't gone up. So I know someone would have commented, by the way, saying that top speed is going to be different if you take the wing off. It's not. The whole rest of the air of the car, as you can see, it's still being held at 269 miles an hour. It's not. It just doesn't change. So the rear wing, I brought it to have the least drag whenever it was on. So it's pretty much the same as having the no wing on. So as you can see, it's still doing very, very similar speeds. 272 is still the top speed. Okay, so just wanted to make that clear before someone was going to comment that, because I knew that someone was going to say that in the comments. Just remove the rear wing. I did, and it's the same top speed. Now, here's the race build version of this car. I left it as a rear wheel drive just to see what it's like. I feel like all wheel drive would be cool and better maybe for grip outside, or for gripping as you're coming out of corners, but I feel like overall this just handles better. Any mid-engine car that's rear wheel drive just handles really, really well, especially when the front end is really, really lightweight. So, alright, let's try to see if I can get used to driving this thing now. Like I said, it's mid-engine, rear wheel drive, so it has a bit of traction issue. Had a bit of a traction issue. Damn, the brakes are really good. So I gotta be careful coming out of corners. I may need to let them. Oh my god, okay, that's a lot of grip that I still have. Yeah, longer corners are good. Longer corners are very good. I can keep my speed up a lot. Yeah, see what I mean? Really, really good. The BTTB, that's my time that I've gotten before. I think it's basically an F1 car though, so like, if I get anywhere closer, that's still top 1000 in the world. The time that I got with that. So if this gets anywhere near it, even like a second off, it's still really, really good. But I don't think I'm gonna get like a second off. Damn, this grips up really well though. I actually really like this thing. Not bad. Well, there's a 35.8. .8 is decent. It's not bad at all. And this one would be a much faster time. Hopefully I don't mess up. Yeah, this is going to be a fast time again. Beating that. 35.3. I told you. I told you. So it's good. It's about 1 second off. I think if I keep trying, I'll probably beat that time as well. So it's about a second off my top 1000 time here. So it's easily a top 1% car in the game for racing, especially on the tighter tracks. I think for the longer tracks, it could do a little bit better. But yeah, it's actually not bad for that at all. Now, the last thing to check it out on is going to be for drifting. So that's the last run that I'm going to do now for today's video, is drifting. So I have to put the drift suspension back on it again, and I am going to tune it really quick, and that's going to be it. So let's give that a shot. Alright, let's give it a shot. It is all-wheel drive. I'm not keeping it as a rear-wheel drive due to the fact that most of the drifting done in this game, especially if you're doing any sort of online drifting, or even drifting when you're... Ooh, I don't know if I like that actually. I feel like it doesn't have a lot of angle before it spins out. Or maybe it's just because I'm not used to it, and I'm also drifting on drag tires. Oh yeah, this is bad. This is not great, chat. Or comments, whatever. I've been streaming too much lately, bro. I keep calling everyone chat. Yeah, this is not good. Can I hold angle? Sure. Can I hold a lot of angle? Kind of, actually. It's really easy to spin out, though. Okay, I think I initially jumped the gun saying that this is a bad drift car. Like I said, it is all-wheel drive. I think as a mid-engine car, rear-wheel drive drift builds on mid-engine cars, they're just not good. It's too fast, bro. It goes to the corner so quickly. It's like trying to slide the Lotus Avaya for the first time after I haven't like driven it in months. It's exactly what this feels like. And I'll end up spinning it out like this. It's literally the same. It feels the exact same. I mean, I made the thing kind of handle like a point drift build, you know? I really don't like these gear ratios. I need to change these. I 100% need to change these. Yeah, this feels so much like the Lotus Avaya. It's a lot less powerful, I'll tell you that, first of all. But you can't really tell. See, like stuff like this, like where the front end just kind of doesn't want to grip up again. It feels very, very strange, because it should. I shouldn't be able to lose the car at that angle. So I just feel like sometimes it just doesn't hold the angle that I want it to hold. I feel like it just wants to spin out very, very easily. That's the main thing about mid-engine cars, right? Because it has a lot of weight going over the rear axle. It's the same thing as the other day. I don't know if you guys remember that when I ended up making a video of when you guys sent me a bunch of cars. And for me to try out, or tunes, whatever, to try out for the video. And one of you guys sent me a 911 drift build. I mean, I was able to slide it, but I wasn't able to hold like huge angle with it because the back end would like kind of just overtake the front and spin out. And it was just so easy for it to do that due to the fact that it had so much weight over the rear end. That's why front engined. Yeah, I really don't like these gear ratios that I set myself. So let me change these real quick. I had to shorten these quite a lot. We'll just use higher gears. Okay, that feels a little nicer to drive. Like, it's not a terrible car. Like, I wouldn't consider it a bad car. I wouldn't consider it a bad car. It's just not like competitive. I don't think it's that great. Like here, I should have been well over 600,000 points. well over. I'm about 100,000 points off what I should be at. Come on, bro, get the biggest slide, please. Yeah, and it just goes off a bit too much. Like, I made it so it's slightly more rear biased too, so I can control it, but it feels a little nicer this time around. I think actually the gear ratios might have helped with the front end gripping. Oh, there it goes. There it goes. There's another spin. Oh, yeah, cool game. Yeah, just take away my points. It only does anyway. See, like, it just doesn't pull in the way I feel like I wanted it to. Maybe my tune's bad for this car. I put a very basic tune on it just so I can see what it drives like, but it just goes through corners so quickly. The Lotus, I feel like I can kind of hold it on the handbrake a little bit and slow it down and just have it so it slides at my speed, you know, not the speed that it wants to. If I slow it down too much, this thing will just straighten up. Even though it's on drag tires, even though it's built the way it's supposed to be built, this was just a terrible looking run bringing this down the hill. It just didn't feel natural for it. Yeah, it's not great. It's not great for drifting at all. I think the worst so far was probably drag racing. I think the drag racing part was the worst for it because it's really slow at accelerating. Again, like I said, for S2 it's way off like what the records are pretty much, and then in S1 as well, way off. It just feels way too sluggish at acceleration. When I'm in races and stuff like that, I think for racing it's actually quite good. It feels really nice. Off-road racing obviously the best in the game. Drag racing is slow, and then drifting also not so great. So for the people that suggested this, there you go. Now you know what this thing is actually like. Spins out really easy, just wants to. But the back end just wants to overtake the front, like all the time. Yeah, very interesting stuff. Very interesting stuff. Yeah, so this is definitely not going to be the best car in this game, or considered the best car in this game. Not overall, anyway. Well, that's it for today's video. Thank you for watching, everybody. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you want to see more videos like this on the channel, then of course subscribe, like this video, and then also comment down below any other cars that you guys might consider being the best cars in this game. I'm not saying here's a car that can do everything. I can build cars like that can do everything, but they have to be the best at it. They have to be like some of the best cars. If they're not like top 1%, then don't even like consider them. I've had people that are saying to me, I remember in one of the previous comments, some guy was saying the Austin Healey he recommended to me, and he's like, I use the Austin Healey. That's a very good car. Or he's like, I like the Austin Healey. Like, good for you, mate. Good for you that you like that car, but it's not going to be the best at anything. Trust me. So anyway, when you're commenting stuff like that, make sure you're like kind of realistic. And when you're commenting stuff saying that this is the best car, make sure you have like at least a little bit of proof. Like this car, I wanted to see if it was the best because it already is literally the best car in the game for one specific thing, which is off-road racing and speed zones for off-road. Like anything to do with off-road, this thing is just an absolute monster. So that's why I wanted to see what it would be like on the road and doing some of those events. So yeah, racing, decent, very good. Off-road, very good. Drag racing and speed and jumps and acceleration, anything to do with this car's power, it just seems to just not be doing so great. And yeah, especially utilizing that mid-engine rear-wheel drive setup for drifting, not great either. Alright, cool. I'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye, everyone.